Hey, it's Crystal. This video is going to be about just not letting people get to you or, put you down because me, I guess you can say I'm kind of emotional. Like, when people say stuff to me, it kind of gets to me, and then I end up putting myself down and I make myself feel a lot worse just because of something that someone said that, like, they don't really matter to me. But then when it's somebody that I really care about and I care about their opinion more than anything, like, someone in your family or a really close friend of yours, and that just, it gets to you. And sometimes you just kind of have to let it go, even though the things that they say put you down. Like, the stuff that I'm talking about is, I guess I'll just start explaining. Well, when I was younger, I guess I was about 11 or 12, I started watching America's Next Top Model, and I just found it so interesting. And, like, my one of my aunts said that I had a very interesting look, and when I was younger, I didn't really think I was pretty or that anyone thought that I was attractive. I thought I was kind of ugly because I actually got braces, but I had like a huge space in between my teeth. I looked like a beaver. I had an overbite. I had like pimples and stuff, and I would never understand if someone thought that I was cute or anything like that. And then I started watching America's Next Top Model, and some of those girls, like, their raw beauty, like, when they didn't have any makeup on and stuff, sometimes those girls really weren't that attractive. But then, like, I learned that everyone has different views and opinions, and so, like, I just found my, like, this thing inside myself. I'm like, hey, I'm unique. I have a different look, I guess. And I started to slowly gain confidence in my looks. And I was like 11 or 12, and I was sitting in a car with one of my grandparents, and she asked me, what do you want to do when you grow up? Like, do you have any plans of what you want to do? And I told her, I was like, yeah, I want to be a model. And then she looks at me and says, Crystal, be realistic. And that just crushed me. I was completely hurt. It was just like the hugest insult. Like, I felt like she was calling me hideous and ugly, and that I couldn't accomplish it, that I wasn't good enough for it. And that it was just that. She just said, be realistic. And then I just got out of the car and we were in a parking lot. I was waiting for my mom. She was getting some food, and I just went inside and I found her and I just stood next to her and started crying. I'd never told her why I was crying. But then after that, I it took a while for me to be able to think I was attractive again. And then I also, I don't know, like, my friends, or one of my good friends, she'd always kind of like put me down and make fun of me. But I realize now, like, I never really believe when people say, oh, bullies are only doing that because they only have something wrong with themselves, like they don't think that they're pretty enough and da da this and that. And it's not always true. Like, people who pick on other people, it's not always because they have that issue with themselves. And I really don't understand why people make fun of other people, and I never will, because I'm just not that kind of person. I'm too emotional. Like, if something hurts me, I definitely don't want to say the same thing to hurt someone else. But I don't know. You just can't let people, like, get you down about stuff like that. You have to be confident in what you want to do. And, like, I was 12. I mean, I didn't really know for sure if that's exactly what I wanted to do. And later on, like a few years later, I was like, well, I'm not gonna starve myself to be a size 0 for the rest of my life. And I started gaining weight, and I was like, that's not for me. So I kind of stuck with the whole, like, idea of fashion, and I started doing makeup. I started doing weird, like, kind of makeup things, wearing super bright colors and makeup, and I was like, hey, you know what, I think I'm kind of good at this. I think I might want to be a cosmetologist. And then I told my grandparents again that I wanted to do that, and they pretty much they were just like, well, it doesn't really make that much money. And, like, they're so worried about, like, money and me being able to pay for everything. Like, I understand that, but I just never understood the fact that they couldn't just say, you know, if you want to do that, then go for it. If that's what you have a passion for, go for it. Like, it's just other people in my family, like my aunt and my mom, they always supported me and stuff like that. But it was just like those other people, like my grandparents or something. Like, I just always wish that I could get their approval, but in reality, you can't please everyone. But in the end, as long as you're happy, does the opinions of others really matter? Like, if you like what you do, you should do it. If it makes you happy, that's why you're doing it. It's for yourself. And that's really how it should be. Oh. I always, like, something that got me down was when I finally graduated high school. I don't know. People like to point out your flaws, like, even when you're really happy about something. I never did great in high school. Like, I had a lot of problems, and I always let my problems get the best of me. I had a lot of, like, I went through depression. I went through several things that I was trying to get through, and I let those things get like, in the way of my schoolwork. And really, like, I know this is going to sound really lame, but you really need to put your schoolwork before anything or anyone else. I remember that I would always put, like, my relationships with guys in front of, like, doing homework. If I was having an argument with one of my past boyfriends like, my boyfriend at the time, and I wanted so badly to fix that issue that I had with them, that I wouldn't work on a project, or I wouldn't work on something that I had to do for school, and then it just kept happening over and over again. And then eventually I kept failing a bunch of classes, and every time I had problems with a class, I was always too embarrassed to ask a question because I felt really stupid. And that's another thing that's really got me down. Like, when I was younger, they or, like, teachers and stuff, like, figured out that, like, you know, I learn differently. I'm not slow. I guess I just need to be taught in a different way. I'm not, like, I don't know, I'm weird. Like, if you word something a certain way, like, I just don't understand it. And then you can say the same thing, but just with different words, and I'm like, oh, okay, I understand it. And I mean, there are a lot of people like that. And then when you have a class of 30 kids, it's hard to be able to teach the same thing to everyone, and it can be hard to, you know, make sure that every single kid understands. And I was always that kid that was just like, well, she's helping someone else, and I shouldn't bother her or him or something, and I ended up failing a lot of my math classes anyways because of that. It was actually, I don't know. So when someone called me stupid, I really take that to heart, because it's something that, like, I don't know, it just really gets to me, because I feel really stupid. Like, I guess I don't understand a lot of things that some people do. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just been a problem with me. And then my senior year, it was probably the most focused I'd ever been, but it was probably one of the most stressful years for me. And it's supposed to be, like, the last year of schooling, and you're supposed to be really happy and everything, and you're like, yay, I'm finally finishing school. You're supposed to have all these easy classes and stuff, but I was going through a really bad breakup, and I had to see my ex all the time. And then eventually, you know, I finally got focused on my schoolwork, and I started pulling myself up. And as soon as I started doing good in my classes, like, my family had never really been, like, really into my grades and stuff. And like, and my senior year, like my mom and my one of my grandparents, they were just like, "Are you even gonna graduate?" And it really hurt me. It's like, wow, they think I'm that stupid that I'm not gonna graduate on time. And I don't know, it just really got to me. And it got me down for a while, and my grades started slipping, and then eventually I was like, you know what? No, just F them. I'm gonna show them that I can do this, like, that they're not right. They cannot tell me that, you know, I'm stupid and that I can't graduate. Well, they didn't say that, but they made me feel like that. It's like, I'm not stupid. I'm going to graduate on time, and I did. I finally, I passed all of my classes. I didn't fail a single class, and I was so proud of myself. And I never went to graduation because I didn't feel like certain people in my family deserved to see me walk across the stage. They weren't the reason why I walked across that stage. Me. That I was the only reason that I could walk across that stage. I finally pulled myself together and got my grades better, and I graduated. Like, I was actually really surprised. I was like, wow, I finally passed all of my classes, because in high school I failed at least one class a semester, and my senior year I didn't fail any. Like, it was the best feeling I had ever gotten. And if I let, like, that I had been doing for most of my life, if I had let those words that those people said get to me, then I would have never graduated, and I would have never gotten that great feeling that I got from, like, graduating. And I mean, I guess that's the end of, like, that little segment of what I have to say. Like, don't let people get to you by, like, what you wear and the people that you date, because you wear what you wear because you like it, because it makes you feel good. It's your clothes, it's like self-expression. You're expressing yourself through your clothes and through a person that you date. Like, you're dating that person because you personally like them, and you have feelings for them, and you care them, and maybe you even love them. And if people try to say, oh, well, you shouldn't date them because it's stupid or whatever, this and that, well, I mean, you know, sometimes there are good reasons why you shouldn't date a person, but if someone's just telling you not to date someone just because, like, let's say that they look weird, or that they simply just don't understand that person, then you shouldn't let those people get to you. Even if they are, like, your best friend, well, maybe they really aren't your best friends, or, you know, maybe they have a point to what they're saying. But that's only happened to me once, but that person later on ended up being someone I dated for almost 3 years. And one of my friends would always, like, make fun of him, because, I mean, at the time he was just a teeny bit chubby when I first dated him the very first time. And one of my friends was just like, oh, you guys look like the number 10 when you stand next to each other, and do this and this and that. And, like, I don't know, it just kind of got to me, because she would, like, make fun of his friends and stuff. And then, I mean, we didn't last very long. It was just like a couple days, and he broke up with me. But I mean, later on, that person became such an important part of my life. And you never know. Like, I mean, if I never stopped listening to that person, I might have never gotten to know my ex like I did, and have gotten to have that great experience with him, and being with him. And, like, you just can't let people get in the way of your relationships, because, I mean, that person could be very important to you in your life, and you just might not know it yet. Something else, like I was saying earlier, like, clothes, self-expression, like, art. Like, some people get made fun of because of their art, and I don't know exactly where I think I saw this on Tumblr or something. It was something like, art makes the disturbed feel normal, and it makes the normal feel disturbed. I mean, some art is like that, but I mean, making that art makes those people feel certain ways, and makes, like, you know, art is supposed to come from you, and I don't know. it's different. There's a bunch of reasons and stuff that I could say about that. But one thing I really want to say, I think this might actually be a Dr. Seuss quote. It's, those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. I actually have a tattoo that, it's just the word mind, and it has like this little kind of swirl thingy, and under it says matter, and I got it to kind of just remind myself not to let people get to me, and that, you know, those who mind don't matter. Like, if those people who are saying those mean things to you, I mean, they don't really matter. Like, those random people. And if, like, it's really, like, sad if someone in your family does stuff like that, but I mean, you don't choose who, like, the family that you're born into. And another tattoo that I want to get is, family isn't blood, it's love. And some people come from families that are just really bad and painful, and it's almost like family is supposed to be all about love, and sometimes families just don't show love. And I kind of come from a family that just doesn't really show that much love, and it's just a lot of pain and a lot of argument and a lot of hurt. Like, when I was younger, it was good, but things happened, and it's just, I don't feel like my family understands me or really loves me in that matter. But it's just, that's just something I feel like my best friends are pretty much my family. Like, I love them unconditionally, and I know they would do anything for me because they've proven it. Like, there's been so many times when, like, some of my friends have just picked me up in the middle of the night without even asking why I was crying. They just came and got me, and they made me feel better. And it's just the most amazing feeling when you can find people like that. But yeah, that kind of got off topic, but yeah, just don't let people get to you, because those people don't really matter. If those people are making you feel bad and you end up changing yourself to make those people happy, you really just shouldn't do that, because that's not you being who you really are, and you're becoming this fake person, and you're not really happy with yourself. You're not going to be happy unless you are yourself, and you are around people that understand you and accept you for who you are, and those are the only people you should be around. It doesn't matter if you have one person like that or 100 people like that. A lot of people want quantity over quality, and that's how our world is turning into. Things are being made, like, easily made, easily broken. It's like that. Like, it's just, we really should focus more on the quality of a relationship than the quantity. And I don't know, that goes into, I guess that kind of goes into what I was saying about, like, not letting people get to you, because those people that get to you probably don't matter, and you probably shouldn't really have them in your life anyways. I know it's really, like, hard for me to say, but sometimes family members aren't those people that should really be in your life. And I know there's a lot of people out there that have rough family lives and probably could agree with me, and then there's probably some of you that completely disagree with me and think I'm a horrible person for, saying that you shouldn't care about some of the people in your family. But if you've gone through a lot of stuff with your family and fights, and the way that words can really get to you, and I guess I'll make another video because this is so long. I'm so sorry for rambling, but I kind of felt like I had to say some of this, and so yeah, I think I'm gonna stop now. But I hope all of you have a nice day, morning, night, wherever it is, wherever you are. And I really hope that things that I talked about help you maybe in some way. So yeah, goodbye.